Lord Abba, the floor is yours.
Oh, honors, honors. So the second part of the question that the brother asked was, what language did the Moors speak? Now, this question keeps coming up. It keeps coming. And I'm only answering the question because it's one of the Hebrew brothers, and I respect the Hebrew Israelite camps. We do our battle. But like I say all of the time, that we are more closely connected than they would like to believe. And it's just a fact. It's just a fact. And the more we learn about each other, the more we'll see this. Now, I wrote a paper called The Moors, Who Were the Ancient Moabites and Founders of the Holy City of Mecca, Connecting the Critical Dots. In this paper, yeah, Islam?
Islam, that's true.
In this paper, right, I show that the name of the Moabite language was Mudar, M-U-D-A-R. I cited several scholars from early Islamic scholars, from Ibn Hazm, Ibn Khaldun, all the way up to modern scholars like Anwar Chejdi, who wrote a book called The Arabic Language. In this book, and in these sources and these references, they are breaking down that the Mudar was not only the precursor to the Arabic, the Aramaic, the Syriac, Hebrew, etc., but it was also the language that the Quran of Mecca was revealed in. Ibn Khaldun went so far as to say that when the Quran of Mecca was revealed, that the Arabic language was afforded special characters, meaning, your different, hope I say this correct, hamzas and nuktas, etc., etc. Forgive me for butchering that if I got it wrong, but your different accent points on the vowels, etc. So to answer the question, the name that the language that the Moors spoke was Mudar, and this was not only the father of, or mother, if you will, of the Hebrew, Aramaic, Syriac, etc., according to several scholars. Mustafa Gadala, who wrote Egyptian Romany, being one of them, notes that it is a direct connection to the Egyptian spoken language. And he claims, and I haven't been able to verify this claim outside of him, but he claims that Mudar is a corruption of the word Meduneter, because the Arabic means the language of the angels, according to this particular source, and the Meduneter means the same, the divine spoken language, the language of the gods, etc. So I hope I was able to satisfactorily answer your question on the name. What does the name Moor mean? Its meaning has been lost. And the only thing that we can do is theorize, but we've traced the name and its usage all the way back in BC times. I would give my source here, but because I know I got some Afrocentric haters that I heard on the line, I'm not until they come on my platform and we get it in.
I want to say this. I appreciate, you explaining that, but I have a belief in a theory and a mathematics to prove exactly what moray means and where it comes from.
Hey, belief on cut it, homie.
Say it again.
Belief on cut it, homie.
Well, I like to do all three levels because you never know who's listening. I have a belief, I have a knowledge, a wisdom, understanding, and I have a math.
Let's hear it then. Let's hear it.
The word moray is an Ibri word, and it means teacher. I can prove this through testimony of the United States. All of the founders of the United States were Caucasian, the presidents, things like that. If you check out pictures of those people, they were being taught by Moors. Those were the short people with the turbans on the head. Not to be confused with Hebrews. These are different type of people. You know what I mean? These are not Israelites, but they were teachers. Another thing that I'll let you know is, like you all say Islam, I'm going to tell you something, that Arabic, Hebrew, and Sumerian, they're really all the same language. It's just it has a different dialect, but it really has the same math. You can actually, all of them start with the Abaga, And you can just line all of this stuff up, and you will see that when the scripture talks about that everybody had one language and everybody had one speech, it was Ibri. I can prove this as well. I was just talking to Kalam about the Medu-Neter language and all of the words that are similar in Hebrew. I can do the same thing with the Islamic language or even the Chinese language. I can prove that all languages come from Ibri and not anywhere else. But if you
that's
really
false.
Look, say it again.
This is Rax Ali, man. That's false. Did you just tell me and tell all these brothers in here every single language that's on the planet that we use today, or every single language period, came from Hebrew?
The base words of Ibri, not Hebrew. Hebrew is different. Ibri is a mathematical language that relates sounds and patterns to different number entities. It's different than Hebrew. Modern day Hebrew is screwed up. So when you say Hebrew, I know you're thinking about some white man with a beard, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Do you mean
I'm talking about black people are Hebrew.
Say it again.
Now, I'm not talking about, there's no white Hebrew, no such thing. White people are called Jews or Jewish. So there's no such thing as a white Hebrew, period.
What? Okay, well, there's no such thing as a Jew either. But, if you want to play semantics with it, I mean, you can.
I mean, how is that semantic? I mean, you say there's no such thing as a Jew, but it's Jews right now that's white running the world. I dare you to fucking say that they not no Jew. Excuse my language.
Hello?
So that's not semantics, brother. I mean, because if you go to the history, if you want to go to the history, I don't want to go to the history. I want to go to the mathematics. And this is what my premise of what I was trying to say. The base words of what languages are built off of are certain things like love or peace, and then a whole language derives from out of that. Or like in China, they say qi. Qi means life or spirit. Then they add words onto that. Same thing with the Ibri. What these people who you call Hebrew, that's what they've done. Our base words is a sacred geometry. They add words to that, and then they become a different nation. Same thing with Islam or the Aramaic language. It was the same exact thing. The base premise of the root words is the same word, actually, as Ibri. But then they have other words as well because they have different dialects. Just like we've done here in Hello? Okay. Just like we've done here in America, we don't speak perfect English, and even the black culture in America have created a different language, which is called Ebonics. And this is just tiled on top of English.
Okay. Real quickly, everybody. Before you come on to speak, please introduce yourself and introduce where you're calling from. We're going to keep a time count on how long somebody can speak for. Let's keep it around the minute mark, so we can free up time, because we've literally got about how many? 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of us actually on the call at the moment, and it will be real dragged out if we give everybody 5 minutes to talk. So if anybody's got a question to ask, just literally unmute their mics. If you're able to unmute your mics. If I mute your mic, actually, I'm going to try with you. Khonsu, if I just mute your mic now, are you able to press double star? Are you able to press double star to unmute your mic? Or is there another way of unmuting your mic?
Yes, I'm unmuted now, Kalam.
Excellent. So please, everybody, if you don't feel away if I mute your mic, it's either that there is a lot of background noise, or your mic should be just muted out anyway, so we can respect everybody's cipher. So Khonsu, I'm going to open up the floor to you right now. Just introduce yourself, where you're calling from, and ask any questions.
Ngozi before.
Sorry?
Oh no, my bad. I thought Ngozi was on first. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I think he's not on anymore.
Okay.
We'll see if we can get him back in.
Peace and love, man. When it comes to the Moorish, and listen, I'm a Noble Ali fan. Ain't no other prophet or any other thing better than having your own kind from the same struggle that you come from in North America. And I'd rather have him over here in the diaspora than have some, desert Arab or some mythical figure from the so-called Middle East. So I got much respect and love for Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and everybody else that's part of our evolution or our development over here. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to certain things, the Prophet, he died in 1929. So he did the best that he can. I mean, a lot of that information is outdated, some of it, but we have to understand the methodology of what he used. When you use terms like ish means to be like. More is not more is a term for a Westerner or someone who is a dark Muslim or dark skin in hue. The Moorish American Muslims would say, no, it's not that. I'm a Moor. I'm dark skinned. I descend from people who spoke, that was part of those Moorish empires or Moorish militaries, whether they was Mindi, Wolof, or from Senegambia. Someone asked the question, Khonsu asked a valid question. He said, what language did the Moors speak? Well, what Moors we talking about, or what group of darker skinned people we talking about? If they were from Yemen, they spoke that language. If they was Mandinka, they spoke a Niger-Congo language. If they was Fula, they spoke a Fulani language. If they was Wolof, they spoke Wolof. And all three of those languages Niger-Congo. If they was Berber, they spoke Amazigh. If there was a dark-skinned Moroccan from southern Morocco, they spoke Harappan. So now we got to get into the groups that makes up the Moors or the people that's classified as Moors. You get what I'm saying? And and Morocco plays a major history in African history. And even when you study the Barbary War in 1805, we're talking about the Amazigh, which is free men. The term Moor itself goes back to the Amazigh, which is free men or nobles. You feel me? So it's kind of cool to try to be something that's free outside of the struggle that we've been through. The Jews can get away with doing it. The white boy called himself Jewish. He said he wants to be like the Jews because there is no Jew. Ish means to be like. You get what I'm saying? So they create false personalities for themselves. He can also call himself an Aryan. And we know the pale-skinned, blue-eyed dude is not an Aryan. The real Aryans live in India. And they're olive skin or Swathi skin with jet black hair. So how can we say that he's an Aryan? So if he can get away with calling himself Aryan and be part of the Aryan nation, what's the problem with brothers and sisters calling themselves Moors or anything else? Let's get into demographics right quick too. Morocco is a lot more closer to you than Egypt. I mean, our ancestors tell me, Noble Ali said that we come from southwest and northwest of Maxim or Africa. So he did acknowledge Southwest Africa, countries like, Mali, Senegambia, Togo, Benin. He even talked Egypt. But guess what? Morocco is a lot closer to you than Egypt. Why don't we talk about this? You feel me? What's the genetic affinities that makes up a Berber? Are Berbers black? I think Tuesday, if you allow us to, are not black, but are they African or indigenous to the continent? Tuesday, Brother Kalam, if you allow me to, as you stated, if we can go further, I'll be breaking it down piece by piece. Because the Afrocentric community got the wrong idea and concept of what is and what's not. They don't even the first people that was coined Africans, which were the free people, were Berbers. So if you're going to call yourself an African, why can't you call yourself a Moor? Because Africans was Berbers, and they looked all types of ways. Everybody wasn't blue-black like Michael Jordan or a Sudanese person, especially in that part of Africa and Tunisia. We know the Phoenicians came in 800 BC, and after 800 BC they formed Carthage. Then they mixed up with the Berbers, and the Berbers was already mixing up with people from southern Iberia, Euro-Asian women. So it's a lot of things going on. So what did the original African look like is the question. Because he didn't look like Scotty. He didn't look like Michael Jordan or Sudanese. The first people to be classified as African.
Excuse me. Islam. Excuse me. It's King of the Moors. Moors I am king. I've been sitting back. Listening, right? Everything.
No, I'm with my mistress.
Excuse me. Hello? You're on mute. When I speak, listen clearly. Moors, Mers, made all languages. Arabic, Russian, Latin, French, Japanese, Chinese. When the world was together, it was called Mo, Mother's Unity. That's Mother's Unity. In Chinese, look it up. Hebrew, we made that language up. I don't know the source what he talking about. I don't know where he taught all the languages came from. I know my Moors did this. Muhammad, right-hand man, was a Moor. Noble Drew Ali, right-hand man, knew many languages. We spoke many languages. Moor means anybody with dark skin. I am a Moorish king, meaning I'm more like a king. Moorish Science, Moorish science means, Moor means anybody with dark skin. Ish means like. Science means knowledge gained by experience. Moorish science means anybody, any dark-skinned man or woman who likes to tell their experience. Rappers are Moorish science, tell Moorish science all day when they tell their experience. This is what Moors are. You look at the palm of your hand. You see it on the video, the fake nigga tucked down. I said you were Moor, and I said it clearly. Look at your hand. Babies can see the M. This is for the children of generations. I don't know why y'all keep saying white. Y'all old enough to know the 101 children. That's for children. It says don't say white. Why y'all keep saying African? I don't know why. We should be past these words. Noble Ali said we being ran by the act of words. Clarence 13X said the only way to change people is changing literature. Why are we still talking about this in the way we talking? We should be in a whole other ecologue talking about something about planning a school, not a school, because in Hebrew that means hell.
I disagree. The term Moor was given to us from foreigners. No one called himself a Moor, but we run with that. And I'm a Moor.
I disagree.
Hold on. I'm not going to play the game because you cut me off. Somebody cut my wisdom. I'm not going to play the game like Noble Ali was right about everything that he said and everything that was done. Because that's crazy. This man brought information in 1929. He also said something that didn't make sense. He said the Turks are the true descendants of Hagar. What Turks is he talking about? We don't got.
We was the first Turks.
Hold on. No. I'm not finished, brother. And then we can go backwards and forward. What I'm trying to say is this: it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the first Turks was. The first Turks, if they was dark skinned or whatever, they didn't view you the same way as you view yourself. That's the bottom line. And we have to understand the diversity of the continent that we know as Africa. Yes, you had a few people that left out of Africa and was responsible for building Göbekli Tepe 12,000 years ago. If you don't want to call it Africa, I'm gonna call it Africa because that's what we know as from a scientific perspective today. I don't want to get into linguistics and history about Scipio Africanus conquering a group of people in Carthage, taking on their name, and then naming a whole continent. That's whatever. We know about that. But when you talk today to people, we got to deal with how we understand things today, not how we understand it amongst one another. So what I'm trying to say is this. Those Turks that was responsible, who did leave out of Northeast Africa, who were descendants of the Natufians, who left out of Africa around 15,000 years ago, migrated over there, built those things called Göbekli Tepe. Yes, you had an African presence over there, but by the time they become Turks, they don't even look the same, and they don't identify themselves the way that you identify yourself. They somebody totally different. It was a lot of darker-skinned people over in that area in Southwest Asia and West Asia. A lot of people. The Colchians was a colony of Egyptians. Herodotus talked about them. But we have to understand, like Dr. Enchi Job said, he talked about the Middle East was a zone of confluence. You give a confluence. And yes, if you want to look at the term more from the dark-skinned perspective, yes, the original people that lived in China, which was a Negrito type, and we can deal with genetics over here, the Negrito type that exists. I know y'all don't like the word Negrito, but again, I'm talking about from how we understand it today. The Negrito type, who are like the Adam and Eve people that live in the Andaman Islands, they was an age of first, and they are so-called super dark, or what we call blue-black people. You feel me? With a certain snip or half of single nucleotide polymorph. So of course, let me just say this. Of course, those people started those original languages. You don't even talk. The FOXP2 genes that exist on chromosome 7, which is responsible for human beings talking and communicating and socializing, you can't even talk without leaving out of Africa. You can't. People left out of that continent talking. So it does. Every language comes from the African. Because if it wasn't for us leaving out of the continent, people, when we run it, they get their mouth. They wouldn't. That's why.
Excuse me. I'm King of the Moors. I'm from Central New York. I'm from Central New York. You talk very fast. I respect it, but you keep saying African, and that's not even the original.
Yeah, I'm calling it African just like you call it Moor. Yeah, more just like you call it Moor.
Why you keep saying African when you know African?
Because you say Moor. And the Africans.
What are you talking about?
Let me finish, bro. You ask me why do I keep saying African? You ask me. Listen to me, brother. No, you ask me why do I keep saying African? You ask me. Listen, you said why do I keep.
Okay. Real quickly, everybody, please. We need to have some respect and order for each other. No cutting off each other's wisdom, please. I've just muted the two brothers' mics. Again, I'll have to reiterate this. We're going to only allow 1 minute worth of dialogue of each person. I'm going to have to cut you off after the 1 minute so we can get everybody's voices heard. So, brother Ngozi, I'm going to put you back into the mix. Then I'm going to go back to Dolo, and then I'm going to open it up for everybody else to have their say. So, Ngozi, your mic is unmuted now. Go ahead.
Ask me, why do I keep using the term African? If anybody know about history, the actual people that were free, that lived in that zone in Carthage, which is modern day Tunisia, was an actual tribe of people. They were a tribe of free people. They were a tribe of the Amazigh people or the Berber people. They were called the free. This is who Scipio Africanus invaded. The Phoenicians said the word meant the ash, or which meant people of the dust, because they lived in the deserty areas. So this is why I can use the term African. I don't care about what Scipio Africanus said. I mean, American. If you're going to call yourself a Moorish American, the term American comes from a cracker that died over here, a Mediterranean cracker, a Spanish cracker who died over here. The indigenous people didn't call themselves Americans, and nobody, even if a few Africans did come over here, or dark-skinned equatorial humans came over here, they didn't call themselves Americans. And that's all I'm saying. We can't play games linguistically because we can go there, yo. I'm part of a mean team, and we deal with linguistics and everything. I'm not going to go there, yo. That's crazy.
Okay, now I'm going to open up Dolo's mic, and then after that, we can have everybody else's. Islam, more.
Yeah, Islam.
Yeah,
Islam.
Go ahead, Lord Abba.
Okay. Let me just say real quick. Ish, the terminology ish, the adjectival suffix means from.
Yeah.
Meaning British, Moorish, Irish. That means I'm from Ireland. I'm from Britain. It determines nationality, where you're from. It does not mean something like or to be like until 1916, when it was being used as a colloquial to mean approximation. You can look this up in the online.
Lord Abbott. Oh, okay. I just want to Lord Abbott. I just want to know if I was still there. My phone hung up. Go ahead. Proceed on. Forgive me.
Yeah. So, there was several claims that I wanted to touch on that I heard. I'm just gonna fall back for now and just let the people build. I mean, one of the things that I do is I like to back up a lot of everything that I speak with some form of documentation, and I think bills like this are good so that we can start understanding Africa. Noble Drew Ali used the word Africa several times, all throughout the Moorish literature, all throughout our Moorish Quran. So there's nothing wrong with using the word Africa, according to my research. And let me say this, and I'm going to end with this. According to my research, when Moors were writing their history, when Moors were being interviewed by other scholars in the Middle Ages, they themselves made the claim that they were led out of Arabia by the thousands, Arabia Felix to be exact, by the thousands into North Africa by a man named Malik Yafrik. And he gave it the name Yafrik. And then it eventually became anglicized, if you will, just using that terminology as a familiar one, to be called Africa, because CA is the Roman suffix denoting country. So according to my research, Malik Yafrik, King Yafrik, was a man who, and you can look this up yourselves, I've cited it in several of my expositions. He was a man that led Moors out of Arabia into North Africa. That's how the name Africa came, according to the historical records, not from Scipio Africanus conquering the land and then giving it. The Moors have clung to a lot of misinformation over the years, but that's simply not true. I just wanted to end with that.
Thank you.
Okay, I respect it.
Real quickly, Lord Abba, I'm going to hit you up for the reference on that. I believe I've actually read that somewhere within inside of the Arabic records itself. Yeah. Definitely need to, refresh my mind.
Oh, man, I got you. I'm about to post it and talk with the Titans right now.
Excuse me, my name is Doloman. I go by the title of Doloman Gar, King Pombay, King of the Moors, King of the Moors. The Moorish American, I'm not a Moorish American. Moorish Americans are ran under 501c3.
That's false.
Moorish
That's
American, a lot of Moorish American temples are ran under 501c3. I don't know if you
well,
guys are.
but let me say, brother. Let me just say real quick, and I don't mean to cut you because
I just want to get in my build. You can talk all you want. I'm not a Moorish
but
American.
that's false.
I'm not an African.
Lord
I'm not
Abba,
an African.
liberal.
Africa was first called Kush, and we going by the original, and it was called more than that. Once I find out the origin of what it was, the first we called it that. I'm not calling myself an African. I apologize.
That place wasn't called Kush. It wasn't called Kush. You making that up, bro. It wasn't called Kush. Kush means
African was never called Kush.
You can't use biblical terms. Dude, you got 56 countries on the continent because you making it up.
Africa was never called.
Okay. I can see it's gonna get crazy. I can see it's getting crazy. So again, please let me just reinforce the rules. Please, rule number 1 is keep your mics muted at all times. I've literally just muted everybody's mic. Rule number 2 is respect another person's cipher. If they're speaking, let them speak. I'm allocating literally 1 minute for everybody to actually get out what they have to say. And the third rule, obviously, nobody's using profanity here, but that's the third rule. If you want to unmute your mic, I believe you just press ** to unmute your mics. Otherwise, I'll unmute it for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow Brother Dolo to actually finish what he has to say. He has a minute to finish what he has to say. Ngozi or Lord Abba can then rebuttal that afterwards. And afterwards, I would like to actually just kind of open up and see who else we've actually got with inside of the chat and let somebody who hasn't had their voice heard actually heard. So Dolo, I believe this one is yours. I'm unmuting your mic right now.
Yes, like I was saying, African and American, them are names from someone else, some other people, so I call myself a Moor. I am not ran under 501c3, Roman codes, Roman laws, and this is why I can speak. I'm not no agent. I'm not no one who deals with Caucasians and deals with black devils and come back to their people and tell them lies and mislead them. I don't do that. I'm here for the new generation, and we're here to change the language so we can build learning centers for the Moors. Nothing that I do in America, and that's just what I'm here to do. Y'all emotional. Y'all need to calm down. I'm not with all emotions. I'm about it, though.
Thank you. All right, so now I'm going to open it up. It's either Ngozi or Lord Abba to have their say on that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I'm a very passionate guy about the continent, bro. This is Brother Ngozi. I'm not gonna tolerate. Hello.
Yeah, hello? 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm not gonna tolerate anybody disrespecting the mother continent, yo. Even when it comes to the word, we understand the word. And Brother Lord Abba produced something. I heard about that before, and that's very important. Lord Abba, my man, that's my brother right there. But I'm not gonna let nobody disrespect Noble Drew Ali or the Moorish Science Temple of America either. But I know I got a minute. But all I'm saying is that a lot of these people have a lot of self-hate for the continent, and I'm learning that. They have a lot of self-hate from the continent. They want to be from everywhere else except where they really come from, except where they really come from. That's all I really can say. I really don't have no direction where I'm going. I'm just saying I'm just learning that a lot of people have a lot of self-hate. They want to be from Israel. They want to be from Pakistan. They want to be from the Americas. They do not respect where they come from genetically, and they talk about their ancestors. Who are your ancestors? Because you don't know them. That's all I got to say, yo.
Thank you. Okay, it's either Lord Abba or we're going to actually open it up now to everybody else. So let me see who hasn't. Let me know who hasn't spoken as of yet. Let me know who you are and where you're calling from, and let's get involved.
I'm sorry, this is Yazoo again. I just heard a lot of babble. You know what I mean? That's what that was. It was a lot of argument and babble. But it was a lot of words that were brought up. And
I hear you, my brother. But I'm going to. Okay, so I'm just going to mute everybody's mic who isn't speaking properly, or there's just background noise. Sorry, I've got to mute you, Yazoo, because I want to actually get somebody who hasn't, as of yet, spoken. We've got callers in from Fort Lauderdale. We've got callers in from where are we? San Francisco, Oakland, New York. So who hasn't actually spoken? Can somebody open up their mics and speak?
Rax Ali.
Rax Ali.
Haven't spoken. Yes, sir.
Say where you're calling from,
Calling,
please.
calling from the Bay Area, Oakland, California. Yep, I just wanted to say, I've been listening to all of y'all. Y'all all got good points, you know. Basically, I wanted to say that we are the original people, no matter who you want to call us. The white man put plenty of names on us. We cannot let that stupid-ish divide us. We cannot. Yeah, I'm saying, if we want to get down to the facts and to the nitty-gritty of it, all of these names are new. We really don't even know the original names that the original people called themselves originally. And if you want to say you do, prove it. Show and prove. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Okay, so who else hasn't actually spoken as of yet? Please unmute your mic and speak. If you haven't as of yet spoken, please unmute your mic and speak.
It's Brother Khonsu.
Okay, Brother Khonsu.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I just wanted to make a quick statement, man. When we're talking about linguistics, we want to be clear about it. Number one, I love Noble Drew Ali. He had a great, innovative idea to bring together people in a motivating fashion in 1928. It was unique, and the brother deserves accolades for the work that he did to unify oppressed people in 1928. However, that was 1928. Now we're at 2016, and the murder rate is ridiculous. So we got to start dealing with realistic issues. And we're talking about linguistical ties and cognates. And I hear a lot of terms being thrown around. And I really want everybody to understand that there is grammar, and that is the law of language and the usage of it. And in order to determine the factor of language and how is it associated with a group of people, you must be able to give cognate, concise, and empirical evidence to tie in words, not just phonetics, but to tie in words under grammatical structure, pragmatics, semantics, syntax, morphology, phonology, and phonetics. All of those must have cognizant attachments to any social group that you're trying to connect with in language. Because people create language, language don't create people.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, the floor is open. Let me know who would like to speak next.
If nobody going to say anything, I would like to respond, but I'll wait.
The floor is open to you, Lord Abba.
Okay, now I keep hearing people first and foremost say that what Noble Drew Ali brought in the 1920s, you know, that was 1920. There's something in our lessons that's very deep, and it says this. It says truth don't change or pass away. This simply means that if it was true thousands of years ago, and it can be proven to be true, it's going to be true today. And if it's true today, it's going to be true thousands of years from now. Brother Sharif Bey at the debate showed the program that Prophet Noble Drew Ali set forth, and then he showed the action behind that program. And it's useful today. Clean our people up, get ourselves involved in politics, learn what it is to be citizens of these United States of America, and do great things, create businesses, etc., etc. That's what Noble Drew Ali was doing. If we're going to talk about doctrinal information, well, the only thing that they have is to harp on this word more. And then when they can't prove any other point, or disprove rather, or debunk any other point, they say, well, more is not an Egyptian word. You can't find more in the ancient hieroglyphs. So now we get to talking about morphology and phonemes and all of this other stuff. But at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with the history of the Moors that can be traced back thousands of years. Translated into the English M-O-O-R that we have today. Many say that Moor was given us by his name, and we can't find use of us ever using this name. Another false claim. We have the information. And we're going to start putting this out bit by bit by bit. So I just kind of wanted to, and to Dolo, and I know I'm going over my 1 minute, but I got to respond to Dolo. He said that the Moorish Science Temple of America is a 501c3. When I called him out on that, he changed it and said some of the temples are 501c3. This is what a lot of people who claim to be MERS, M-U-U-R-S, of which you'll find in no language lexicon anywhere in the world. It's a name that some group of Moors just made up. We're not going to call ourselves Moors. We're going to call ourselves MERS to distinguish ourselves from the Moorish Science Temple of America. Nobody follows that or that logic because it's just false. The Moorish Science Temple of America is not filed under or as a 501c3. Some temples do, and guess what? It doesn't change anything. They made 501c3s out to be boogeyman. They're just nonprofit organizations. It's a tax-exempt status given out by the IRS. All of our people are always looking for a boogeyman. This is why we attack each other's doctrines. This is why we call each other agents and all of these other things. And then at the end of the day, when you break down what are you doing to uplift fallen humanity, you see a whole database that's miles long, but tissue paper thin. Means nothing. So with that, I yield the floor.
Okay, the floor is open to anybody who would like to speak next.
And I'm working for Dolo.
Okay, so we've got number ending 8430.
So first to the ground, there's nobody over there with nothing. Nobody over there with nothing.
Okay, I'll just mute the mic because I don't hear anything that is sensible coming out from 8430. All right, so the floor is open. Melvin, you haven't actually said anything yet. Would you like to speak? Okay, if not.
Not yet.
Yeah, this is Khonsu, man. I like to rebut what the brother just said. I like to rebut that, if I may.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, that's total. That's a logical fallacy. To keep it simple and plain, because you're gonna claim science and then you're not gonna use science. Make your mind up what you're gonna use. Respectfully, Lord Abba, because I appreciate your scholarship. But 1 minute you're gonna use science and the next minute you're not. Linguistics is the scientific study of language. When we get into geographical data and things of that nature, now we're talking anthropology. When we start talking about language clusters and talking about pragmatics, which are lexical discourse, this is why we use lexicon. This is why we know discourse is the pragmatic of all language. So we have to understand and approach things scientifically because now science is at a premium. In 1928, it was not. In 1928, nobody dressed like Noble Drew Ali. In 1928, black people couldn't afford a nice pair of shoes like Noble Drew Ali did. We couldn't speak articulate like Noble Drew Ali did. He was a god of his time. That's just like Marcus Garvey was. When you are well learned and educated, you were easily distinguished from your own people. Noble Drew Ali was an ingenious man coming from North Carolina. But he also recognized that we were impoverished, oppressed people that did not have the faculty to understand a lot of things. He mixed Bedouin science along with Aquarian gospel science. And he created his own ingenuity. He synthesized his own doctrine with theory, okay? But when we look at physical proof, when we look at the empirical data, when you pull people like Mustafa Gadala, whose last work he's famous for is Egyptian yoga, which is an absolute contradiction of Egyptian and yoga, that wouldn't even be in the same syntax. That's like saying sovereign citizen. Another paradox that comes out the Moorish Science Temple. How can you be sovereign and a citizen at the same time? These are the misinterpretations of a genius of his time, Noble Drew Ali, a pure genius. But if you're putting all your understanding, all your knowledge on the laurels of one man, that is totally a logical fallacy, and it is a true Scotsman fallacy at that. If you're telling me that the only source of knowledge and truth came from this one individual, it is unfair to Noble Drew Ali. It is too much burden placed on him, and people are distorting the human being that he was, the information that he brought. And that is the deception that's going on within the Moorish Science Temple that I've been affiliated with and a part of, and I'm still a Moor for 20 plus years. And all you get out of there is sovereign stories. You can't be a sovereign citizen. You can't tell me what the language of the Moor is, because everything was called Moor that was dark in Africa. So you can't tell me what the language was. You can't tell me what the genetic cluster is. You can't tell me what's the original tribe equivalent to the Khoisan, or equivalent to the Fulani, or equivalent to the Beja. Well, give me the tribe equivalent to the Moor. You can't, because the Moor is merely a universal adjective that describes someone that is dark-skinned and happens to be a human being. And that's all it is. And you came into America and created a politically constructed, administrative, political nation. That's it. That's all it is. And I yield the floor.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Being that it seems like it's only me and Brother Shemzu, I believe it is, let me say this. This is the hypocrisy of what this man just said. First, let me start here. The Moorish Science Temple of America, for the 1000th time, does not in any way, shape, form, or fashion teach that we are sovereign citizens. It doesn't teach a sovereignty doctrine. It doesn't teach a right to travel and we are free men. It teaches none of that nonsense. So please, if you're going to speak of conflation, do not conflate what a Moorish American Muslim is with a Moorish or Moorish science or sovereign citizen is. And this speaks to the ignorance that you tried to highlight with me and my breakdown of Moor by saying using phonemes and all. Well, language clusters. When I first got on this call, the Hebrew brother asked me a question, and I dealt with the direct bloodline because everybody asks what's the Moor language. So I went to the Moabites because Moab and Moor is synonymous in the historical records. This we have proven without a shadow of a doubt. Now, if you're going to say we have to dig into all of these different languages because you got disgruntled ex-Nuwapians in your ear telling you that what I'm saying is logical fallacy, well, my research is up. And what one researcher / scholar does is they write papers refuting the other researcher / scholar. And then we just go from there. We learn from each other. Even in the heat of battle, we're still learning. But you obviously have not studied anything Prophet Noble Drew Ali has done. You said he didn't have the faculties in 3 years, this man had the whole state of Illinois in his pocket. In 3 years, he had temples in 15 states. In 3 years, this man had European politicians on his birthday wiring him European politicians wiring him birthday get well wishes and all of these, or birthday greetings and all of these different things. This man went to Cuba on our behalf to speak for us as a nation. This man went to Mexico on our behalf to speak to us on behalf of us as a nation. He was invited to Canada. We got the newspaper articles because the work that he was doing here was resonating in the United States of America for our people. And Brother Sharif Bey at the debate, he highlighted many of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's accomplishments that you all try to diminish as some 1928 time frame that you believe cannot be accomplished in this day and time. And so you stick to trying to figure out a dead language that is not used in commerce today, cannot be used. Matter of fact, people on the African continent do not call themselves Wujal Iri Mayat. They don't call themselves Shezmu Patar. They don't even call themselves by these. You people are living in a fantasy world, and this is the reason why we can't move. And every time we're trying to move, you notice it. And you say, well, we can't move. Let's stop these brothers and sisters from moving by maintaining an attack on their doctrine, because we don't want anybody else to move when they move, because we want to be African so bad. And I'm going to end with this. The Egyptians are my ancestors, point blank, period. Nobody can separate me from my ancient Egyptian ancestors. Those are my ancestors, period. And I wanted to end just with that so you could put it in your head that we are not trying to fight against ancient Egypt. All throughout our lessons, we teach about ancient Egypt. All throughout the lessons, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was called an Egyptian adept. There was a reason why these things were in our lessons. There was a reason why chapter 47 is, called Egypt. the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. Like he broke the genealogy there. You people have studied nothing that this man have brought. You picked a few verses here and there and tried to find fault in those, and you stuck on those without looking at the thing in totality. That's poor scholarship and poor methodology. So don't ever try to lecture me on any shortcomings. And with that, I say peace.
Peace. This is Dolo PGOD World War III. I understand and overstand. Am I being heard or am I on mute?
You're being heard.
You're being heard.
Yes. I just want to say one thing. I would like to save half of the people, but I'm going to try to save 4 for the people. There's just going to be a handful saved. I cannot count them on my fingers. I can count them on my fingers, but have fingers left over. This come out of the Lord book. This the words of Noble Drew Ali the Prophet. And I put the book down. Also, it surprised me is one good more. Study yourself. Get yourself, Moors. See, the Prophet, which means, what is it saying in 101? Anybody is a prophet, right? The Prophet is a thought of God or law manifested in flesh or human flesh, angel or prophet. See, show and prove. We said show and prove. The origin, you can look at your phone and look at the word Islam, look up the origin and say the submission to God. We just dealing with the origin of the words. See, breath in Hebrew means wind, in Latin it means spirit. So we dealing with the words. That's what, since he brought Sharif Day, that's what someone was talking about. The words, before they brought my name up in there. The words, because we are the most powerful people on this earth. So the Y chromosome, that masculinity inside of us, make us say certain words. And every word we say, everybody copy it. So if we say we black, everybody gonna say we black. We say we Moorish, stand up. We know that Caucasians gotta respect that as a nationality. So my whole thing is like, we should be planning how to uplift these babies and these ladies. That's humanity. You know what I'm saying? And let's build some type of, because that's what I'm doing. I'm speaking for myself. That's what I'm doing. I did a learning center down in Miami, in Grenada, where we really lost. That's another story. And now I'm working on another state. You know what I'm saying? Another city. So what I do is I go city to city, and I teach masonry, Masonic signs. No sense you having a fed in the car without knowing Masonic signs. They say Moors can't be Masons. Oh, goddamn, Mason means one who builds a dictionary. And May is M-A-S-U-N. I'm the son, God's son. You know what I'm saying? So, if you want to know, any origin of the word so improved, you can look at your phone and look at certain words and look at the origin of the word. That's as easy. Dictionary, just look at the origin of the words. Like family. Family means a house full of slaves. So when you say family, you're really saying you put yourself back in slavery. Citizen, like one of the brothers says, citizen means that you owe Romans. Salary also means that you owe Romans. Look at the origin of the word to show and prove. If you want to show and prove yourself. You can go to your phone, look at dictionary, go to dictionary, look and type in any word and then go to the origin. Don't even look at what the Caucasian put down. Look at the origin of the word. That's what we did. We are the source. The origin means source. We made up the origin of the words. These other people started just having us say it and put ourselves back in slavery. We're a bunch of tribes. We come together as a nation. So when I do the Million More March, I want to put my hand out to some of you brothers and let's get together. And we're about unity, man. We're about love, peace, truth, justice, and freedom all day. They call me Noble New Ali. I don't play games. I sit back and listen to everybody. I'm the best listener in the world. And I straight mate.
I would like to
more
speak.
science.
So
that's what I do. Huh?
Okay.
I'd like to speak, please. I'd like to speak, please.
Thank you.
I'd like to report, please.
Bro, Khonsu, 1 second. I'm literally going to end the recorded version of this real shortly. It's 10 to 5 over here. So I think I'm going to give this another 10 more minutes or another 8 more minutes. And then I'm going to end the recorded session. And you lot can still continue to talk afterwards.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I don't know what you keep saying, rambling and all that. All I was saying is this is for the children. This ain't for you old dudes. Old dudes, and y'all go back to the bus. This for the new ones. So you rambling. That's all I've been hearing on the phone anyways, is rambling. No planet, just rambling. Planet. We planet, nigga. Excuse my language saying nigga. I just don't like somebody interrupt me saying rambling. But yeah, go ahead though.
No problem. Khonsu, the floor is yours.
Anyway, like I was saying, man, it's time for empirical data. It's enough of the storefront sermons and preaching on soapboxes. All right? So we're going to deal with the honorable Noble Drew Ali. See, people have cognitive dissonance and change their flow just because they feel passionate about something. And there's nothing wrong with loving Noble Drew Ali, because I do. But I also know the work that he laid. And he filed at 1:30 in the Cook County Recorder's Office of Chicago, Illinois, at 1:30, who was signed off by Roberta Cromwell, a record of his filing of the Illinois Religious Corporation Act 805, Illinois Composite Statute, Subpart 110. And he did it to establish the Moorish Science Temple of America in 1913. That's registered here in Chicago. That's empirical evidence. Illinois Religious Corporation Act 805, Illinois Composite Statute, Subpart 110, and he was filed it as Timothy Drew. And he filed it as an incorporation because he was brilliant in 1928, because he knew that he had to create a tax-deferred religious organization so that he would have entity to operate without the inclusion of a third-party inquisitor.
Can I just ask you a question, brother?
No, you can't, because I'm not done. You can ask me.
I just want to know where you said empirical. I just want to know where I can find that. I just want to know where I can find what you're talking about.
Illinois, okay, I'll say it again. Illinois Religious Corporation Act 805.
So I know that the Timothy Drew signing, the name where it's signed Timothy Drew. Where can I find? And I don't mean to cut you, beloved, but that's the first time I'm hearing that. I have all of the documents, and I've never seen that. And maybe you have something that I don't have.
Yes, it's actually filed in the county recorder's office. If you go to, I think it's Yancey Yarbrough. I don't know who the new clerk is, but we just got a new clerk. It might still be Dorothy Brown, but if you go to that website and you pull the actual recording, or you go to the Department of Revenue within the Cook County of Illinois, you'll see that.
Okay, because I have every document.
And actually, it's two different documents, because he signed one as Noble Drew Ali. He actually signed two separate documents. At the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, from those semantics of which name it was an incorporation document that was recorded as telling everyone in the world and Cook County, giving 30 days for opposition, that this is an incorporation. I am incorporating a new science. Now, I'm going to read verbatim what that is. Okay? We could go into it being a religious organization signed and put together for tax deferment. That's what the Illinois Corporation Act is. Now, when we talk about Noble Drew Ali himself, him being a brilliant man, in his first 19 chapters are the Aquarian Gospels. In chapter 20 through 45 is the Rosicrucian work. He took that Islamic influence, he took the Aquarian Gospel influence, and he created a great body of work. Yes, he did. But I'm not going to disrespect Noble Drew Ali by allowing people who are not speaking properly on his behalf to make up their own synthesized religion for the sake of showing off. And there's nothing more and nothing less. Because this Moorish temple, this Moorish nation that these Moors are claiming, because I'm a Moor, where is your military? Where is your finance? Where are you not recognized by the IMF? If you want to be a citizen and you want to follow the rules that the great Noble Drew Ali left, then where are you recognized internationally? You can't just use the freehold number, because where is your post? Where is your land mass? You can't use Morocco, because that's only under treaty embargo. If you're going to speak international law, then where is your international consulate on the continent that you come from? That's why I asked what your language was. Where is your consulate where you come from? Not a consulate that you create here because you filed some paperwork. Where is your international consulate where you come from? Because every foreigner that's on a foreign land that is recognized as a diplomat has a consulate, a military, and a financial institution. Where is your World Bank? Where is your coin? Not the paper dollar. Where is your coin? And who sits on your coin? Who represents your coinage? Answer these questions because they need to be answered directly and not with indirect garbage. Because all that emotional preaching is over with. It's done. We need to be free. There's nothing wrong with us coming together, unified, working together, but you're not going to create no synthesized fake religion from somebody who was ingenuitive. Do your own thing. Don't get on the coattails of Noble Drew Ali. Take it farther, but stay within the construct. You're going out of the construct. And that's a fact. I'm dealing with empirical data. Go look, anybody on this call, go look up that Corporation Act, and you're going to see he had no choice but to file it as a corporation. He didn't will it. He didn't make them people do it. He had to follow the bidding of that governmental body, and he had to be an incorporated corporation, a company. I yield the floor, man. This is crazy. I yield the floor.
Well, I'm guessing it's my turn to respond. And, you know, I'm not answering his question because I can ask him the same exact question, and he's not going to have an answer for me. And he spoke about this emotional preacher man hype. Then he got on and spewed a bunch of emotional preacher man hype. You know, and this is what I mean, this sustained attack on the Moors, and it's largely due to jealousy. These people are singular individuals that run in small 2, 3, 4-man cluster groups that have a contingency of people up under them who revere them as scholars. I can tell by some of the words that he used, like cognitive dissonance, that I know who's in his ear right now. Like, you know, because I've had these debates with the same people over and over and over again. This brother just got on the phone, and I'm a member of this organization, the Moorish Science Temple of America. I've written a book called Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple of America, the movement that started it all. Several brothers have written books. Brother Sharif Bey has written a book, Musings. Yeah, Hopkins Bey has written a book. What's the name of the book more? Savior of Humanity. Yeah, you know, like we have the records. So why would somebody to Khonsu who's not a member of the organization tell you that Noble Drew Ali signed his name Timothy Drew in 1913 and incorporated in Chicago and all, when we know that that's not true, that's false. This brother is getting up here spewing a bunch of falsehood, and he's saying it in a way with such passion, the same type of passion he's trying to chide me for. He's saying it with such a passion that it sounds believable, and then have the nerve to use the word fallacy. Like, we study fallacious arguments ad nauseum, and we listen to people make them all day, every day, and that's all his brother did. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali incorporated a civic organization, and he himself said we changed it to a religious organization because our works were largely religious. He didn't say we changed it because we had to make a company and be up under the. Come on. You know, they keep confusing us. You heard the brother Dolo, King of the Moor, Murs, talk about citizen means you owe Rome. That's not what citizen means. None of that stuff that brother says is what we teach in the Moorish Science Temple of America. So it makes it so much easier for brothers like Shimsu and Wuju and Ankh and all the rest of these guys that try to attack us. But at the end of the day, if you're not coming directly from our doctrine, and please go to the Cook County, Illinois, filing. You can't order it offline. You have to actually call Cook County, Illinois Recorder of Deeds office to get a certified copy. It's $25. You'll see Noble Drew Ali name. That's in 1928. The original filing of this, that was an amendment. The original filing is November 29th, 1926, when it was called Moorish always confused the two. Moorish Temple of Science, excuse me. As a civic organization, and you see Noble Drew Ali's name again signed as Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The stuff that this brother said was a bunch of makeup. And if you heard it for the first time, you would have actually believed it because he said it with such passion and said, you can go look it up for yourself. Well, we have the documents. And we're going to urge you to go look them up just to see who's correct. Was Brother Lord Abba Sheikh Way El a grand sheik of the
We got
Moorish
the
Science?
document in the back chat right now. I got it for download right now.
Please, well, download it. Show me.
Go to the back chat.
Show me.
Go to the back chat.
Show me.
Bro,
I don't know where the back chat
is
at. Show me Timothy Drew's
go
name.
Go to the back chat and look it up. All the bylaws, all the rules, and the fact that he filed as a corporation. All that other stuff you're talking about is
what does that mean, though?
He filed it as a corporation.
Okay, brother, what does that mean?
About it.
Brother,
because you came with a story that he
converted
into a church. I ain't trying to hear that.
What are you talking about?
Because the documentation means he's already recognized as an incorporated church. All
churches
are incorporated under 501A,
listen to
501C, or 501D in the United States.
That's false. That's false.
That's not false.
Listen, that is false.
That's false.
Okay.
If you would let me speak,
Okay. Real quickly, I'm apologizing, but we have to. I have to actually end the recording right now. It's 5 o'clock in the morning over here in the UK, and I'm going to be up literally in the next 4 hours. So I apologize. I'm going to have to end this conversation real short. This conversation can continue, but it just won't be recorded. And we'll discuss how we're actually going to upload this, if it's going to be on Facebook, if it's going to be on YouTube, or if it's going to be on various different websites, whether it's Lord Abba's, whether it is Team Osiris's, whether it's whoever else who would like to have this recording as well. We'll arrange that. And I think this was actually a beautiful conversation that's actually we've had so far. And, if we can have some type of formatted dialogue / debate that can take place between Brother Lord Abba and Brother Khonsu, because it seems as both of you are very well versed in this this discussion here, and you both have documentations that you can pull up, and I definitely think a lot of our audience can learn a lot either way from both of you and the information that you're going to actually provide. So yeah, we can definitely speak about doing this, in a very, very respectful and controlled manner, where we can actually pull up documentation virtually over the internet, where everybody could stay in their respectful places, whether it's in Georgia or Athens, whether it is in Chicago, Illinois, wherever it is, we all could be here virtually and sharing the information for the audience to glean, to research, and to actually make up their own minds themselves. So I'm going to open up the mic to Brother Khonsu and then to Brother Lord Abba for your response to that. And then I'm going to close off the recording, but I'm pretty sure that this conversation will still be able to continue. Okay, so I'm unmuting Brother Khonsu's mic right now.
Correct. I'm open, brother. I'm open. I'm very passionate about this. And let me say this, nobody's in my ear except history. And what I'm speaking on is why it's been twisted and adopted into some strange beast, some Frankenstein of a thing, where now you're talking total domination, that this one source out of this entire world, billions of people on it, different ethnic structures, definitely you talking ethnocentrism, definitely is showing us what you're doing. You're telling me that all of us are just empowered by just one man. That this one man came and changed the entire world, huh? So if he did, where you at now? See, I'm all about empirical data. Where's the Moorish nation at right now? Where are you now? Don't tell me about 1928. And I'm going to keep bringing up 1928. Because at the end of the day, this white beast and his woman got their foot all the way in our ass. So no matter what fez you wear, you a nigga with a fez on. You can holler Asiatic. You can put your bow tie on. You can stand on your square. You can do all of that. And you still a nigga with a monkey hat on to that white oppressor.
Khonsu.
So now, we need
Khonsu, real quickly, I have to remind you of the language, and then I'm going to unmute your mic. But please, round up real soon, because we're trying to close out. Go ahead.
Okay. You're still a Negro with a monkey hat on. Okay? You give me the empirical data of where you at today, Lord Abba. Where's the Moorish nation at today? Since it's the elixir of liberation for all of us, what are you doing in 2016 that wasn't being done in 1928? What doctrine are you doing that has been added upon? What have you added to the paradox? Because we can't do what we was doing in 31 BC. Today, you're talking about the truth never changes. Well, the truth is modified, and you adapt. Because that's what Noble Drawley talked about as being an adept. So what have you adapted? What have you adapted to? What have you changed? Because if you're still talking about that same doctrine, well, you're still oppressed. And we are still oppressed. And so this type of information needs to be changed. And because feelings are in it, we need to put our feelings to the side and deal with the facts of the matter. At that particular time, Noble Drawley was brilliant. His work is still brilliant. That's what you're not hearing. That's the cognitive problem you're having. His work is brilliant. I'll go on record saying that. However, it was an incorporation. It had to be. In order to operate as a religious body of politics and also have corporate soul,
10 seconds.
You had to have home rule, which qualifies you to file as an incorporation in the United States. I'll yield the floor.
Perfect. I'm muting Lord Abba's mic right now. Lord Abba, please respond to what I've had to say and what Brother Khonsu has to say. And from there, I'm going to close out the recording.
Okay, you had said, I'm sorry, you said something, Brother Kalam?
Yeah, I said something prior about, it would be wonderful if we can actually have a dialogue / debate between you and Brother Khonsu, where it can actually be recorded and transmitted virtually, where everybody could be in their respective places and pull up documentation, since you both seem to be quite versed in this particular disposition and positions.
Okay, well, let me just say he's not versed in this particular field. He just made up a whole bunch of stuff. I would not debate him. He basically just called me a nigger with a monkey hat on. We as Muslims, we don't speak to our brothers. I don't care how heated these conversations get. At the end of the day, it's knowledge, it's information. And if you can get that mad, it proves to me, you lost. You're a loser, point blank, period. And you want everybody to be a loser with you. And that's why he'll say, you ain't nothing but a nigger in the feds. You ain't free. Why? Because they feel that they are not free. They literally feel that the European is stopping them and holding them back. Now, think he lauds the genius of Prophet Noble Drew Ali in 1928, who had all of these businesses, had thousands of followers, tens of thousands, all across the United States of America. Yet he's a part of no organization that anybody knows about, at least. I don't know about any organization that he's a part of. And what he represents is not organized. It is not organization. Our forerunner and harbinger, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who we give high honors to and praise Allah for, said that this organization is the greatest enemy to the Negro. The thing about being disorganized is that it makes you miserable. And there's an old saying that misery loves company. Let me read the definition of nation real quick. It says nation. This is a law dictionary, and this is the universally accepted definition of what nation is. A people or aggregation of men existing in the form of an organized jural society, usually inhabiting a distinct portion of the earth, speaking the same language, using the same customs, possessing historic continuity, which we can show with Moor, and they cannot with black, and distinguished from other like groups by their racial origin and characteristics, and generally, but not necessarily, living under the same government and sovereignty. In the second edition of the same law dictionary, it says that nationality is basically based on bloodline. It's not the same as territoriality. Two different things. So when they start talking about where's the Moors' land and all of this, it's because they lack understanding. They are but toddlers. I give this analogy. I'll say that again. No, it's not. You know, I've got one of my brothers listening, and it's not necessary for a nation to have territory, and it says that in that law dictionary, see the Jews. One of the analogies that I give is the Planet of the Apes analogy. Our people will watch the Planet of the Apes and get hyped. Why? Because they see themselves as the apes that rose up against their oppressors. But what they do not see is themselves as the people in the white coat. You see, us Moorish scientists, we see ourselves as the people in the white coats, the doctors, the scientists, the physicians that created the ape, that rose up and dominated and took over. And now we as scientists have put the white coats back on because one man did come and empower us, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And it's not that we are connected just to him. We are connected to a whole legacy and history. And that's why it says for nation possessing historic continuity, Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught that the Moors, the Moors in America were descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. We have put up a plethora of sources and references from Christian documentation showing where these Moors that invaded Europe were called Moabites, that Al-Mortavid, Al being the definitive article, the, connects to Mortav and Id, meaning people or people of, proving that Al-Mortavid means the Moabites. We've shown these things over and over and over again, and they keep ignoring them. And they keep making these claims that are useless. Where's your military? Where if you're a nation, you don't understand what a nation is. This is what I'm saying. When you are misinformed, when you are uneducated on a thing, when you don't understand proper methodology because your methodology is strictly limited to speaking dead languages or trying to fit some Afrocentric paradigm from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 years ago into American society in a way that it doesn't fit, then you're going to always come up short. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that we will practice Islam insofar as it will fit in this American society. So our Islam is an Americanized Islam. Our Moorish Quran is an Americanized Quran. And yes, the Prophet used all of these different sources. He did not use unto thee I grant. It's another false piece of information. Unto thee I grant used the same source that Prophet Noble Drew Ali used. That source came out in the 1790s. These things I've explicated on several of occasions. I have them written in my expositions and the whole nine. But guess what? They're not going to read them. They speak from ignorance. So I'm going to close with this, Brother Kalam, and say, I will not debate Khonsu. I will not. He's not worthy of a debate, first and foremost, because of the way he just spoke. And he's just not on the level. Floyd Mayweather would only fight Adrian Broner because it's easy money. But Floyd Mayweather knows he'll beat the brakes off of Adrian Broner. This is just a fact. I would do the same thing to Brother Shamsu. Instead, bring on the big dogs. Bring on your Ankhs and your Sanjettis, your Asa Imhoteps, your Wuju, whatever his name is, the disgruntled ex-Nawapi, and bring these guys on. Let them come on to the debate with Talk with the Titans, and then I'll consider.
Right. Okay. Wow. All right. I'm actually going to close out now. Thank you, everybody who's actually tuned in. We're going to get it posted up to the various sites as possible and share this great information that we've all partaked of today and received. So I'm signing out. So this has been Titans TV signing off. Peace.